So yesterday we started design of security architecture and what are the levels of controls for the spheres of security, that is the foundation of the security framework. What are the management controls cover the security processes which are designed by the strategic planners and performed by the security administrators here. And what are the operational controls that deal with the operational functionalities of our security in organization. And what are technical controls address the technical implementations which are related to designing and implementing the security in the organization. So we are seeing the spheres of security protection for your information, for your people, for the systems, as well as the networks, as well as the internet here. So we can see different layers of protection. Okay, different layers of protection in a sphere of protection. You can see the information is a main asset of your organization. Like that, systems is a main asset of your organization. Even people, the employees, they may be technical and non-technical people. Okay, they need some policies, some laws, some education and training, some security planning should be there for the people as well as the organization here. Similarly for networks, for internet. So we are giving some access controls for the internet, networks as well as the systems. Okay, if it is a network, it is a network intrusion detection systems, firewalls, host intrusion detection systems, proxy servers, backups. Most important is backups here. You want to keep the redundancy of your data. Okay, if any system is crashed, okay, your data may be gone. So to avoid that, we need to keep multiple backups here. Okay, so in the point of technology, what are the devices you are using to protect your information, your system, your network, internet? All belongs to your asset here. Okay, according to people, what are the policies you are using to protect your, what are the policies and laws you are using to protect your information, how you are guiding the people, how you are guiding the employees, by giving some awareness programs, by conducting some reviews, by education and training. Okay, so defense of depth, we discussed design of security architecture, defense of in-depth, the implementation of security in the layers, okay, which requires that organization to establish sufficient security controls and safeguards so that intruder faces the multiple layers of control here. Okay, so these layers of controls can be organized into policies, training and education and technology. Policies can deter the attacks here. Technology can implement in the different layers. Already we discussed in the previous class. The technology can be implemented in the different layers here. And policy can be deter the different attacks here. So implementing multiple types of technology and thereby preventing the failure of one system from compromising security of information is nothing but a redundancy here. So redundancy can be implemented throughout the security architecture, such as firewalls, okay, proxy servers, DMZ, and some access controls here. So we need some security parameter, which is a point at which the organization's security protection ends here. where the organization security protection ends here. Security parameter. Okay. So it does not apply to the internal attacks, you can say, from the employee threats or example on-site physical threats. So security perimeter is nothing but a point at which an organization security protection ends and outside world begins. So one from the internet, you are connecting to the outside world. We are using some technology, some access control mechanisms to connect for the outside world. Yeah, a public IP for public IP. Yeah, connecting for different public IPs. Okay, so it does not apply to the internal attacks here. So over the people who are in the employees, the example you can take the employees. What are attacks, internal attacks coming from the employees, threats coming from the internal employees? It does not apply to the internal attacks here or physical threats here. So security perimeter is nothing but key component generally used for planning the perimeter for firewalls, DMZ, proxy servers, intrusion detection systems here. So what is a firewall here? First of all, design of security architecture continues here again. What is a firewall? Firewall is a device that selectively discriminates against the information flowing in and out of the organization. So if you see the diagram again, the firewall is placed between the untrusted network as well as the internal network. The firewall is placed between the untrusted network as well as the internal network. So firewall is acting as a security guard between the security guard for your internal organization. For your organization, is acting as a security guard for your organization. So there are different classifications you can see in a firewall. Different types can be seen. Okay, different configurations you can see. I can use the internal filter router as a firewall and external filter router as a firewall. A firewall may be a software, a firewall may be a hardware here. Okay, you can depend upon your configurations of your organization. So I can install the firewall as a software in your particular router device for external device, or also I can also install the firewall in a internal filter router here. Okay. So what are the packet coming from the untrusted network? Okay. What are the packet coming from the untrusted network? It first should go through the external filter router here. That is nothing but a firewall. So what the firewall will do generally? Firewall will check every packet here. Firewall will check every packet, apply some rules. Okay, whether this IP is applicable for you or not. Okay, so if the packet is trusted, then it is enter into the internal packet filter router. Like that, you can configure your own trusted network or trusted firewall in your organizations here. So I can use the any number of firewall configurations for my organization. So do you know host firewall configuration? Like that I can use a single home configurations. So different type of configurations you can see in the later classes. So try to understand what is a firewall generally. Firewall is a device that selectively discriminates against the information flowing in and out of your organization. So what are the information going from the organization? What are the information coming from the organization? Which is filtered here. Okay, which is filtered. The packets are filtered through this firewalls here. Simply I can say firewall is acting as a security guard for your information here. So firewall is usually a computing device, specifically a configured computer, you can say. Firewall is usually a computing device, specially configured computer that allows or prevents information from entering and existing defined area based on a set of predefined rules here. It's usually a computing device or especially configured computer, configured router you can say, that allows or prevents information from entering or existing defined area. So you can say this is a perimeter, a security perimeter for your organization. Okay. So what are the packets coming from the outside network and what are the packets going from the inside network? So this all belongs to your internal network here, and this belongs to your outside network here. So the packet should flow through this untrusted network to your packet firewalls, as well as the, what are the packets internal organization you have. The packet should go again through this internal filter router as well as the external filter router. So I can use the DMZ also. I can use the IDS also. Depends upon the technology, depends upon the computer systems, depends upon the medium size organization or large scale organization, depends upon the number of employees in the organization, how to configure, what are the configurations I can use for my organization. Okay, it depends upon your size of your organization. If the size is more, number of employees working in the organization is more, so I can implement the host IDS, or I can use the network IDS. I can use the different firewalls here. Okay, different configurations I can go. Dual home or Bastion home host configurations, a single firewall configurations I can use. Depends upon the organization. I can configure on the computing device. I can configure on the specially configured computer. So these firewalls are based on some particular rules here. Firewalls are usually placed in on a security parameter. I said already, firewalls are placed on the security parameter here. Okay. So if you go for the previous diagram, the security parameter you can see here. The firewalls are placed on the security parameter of your organization. A firewall can be a single device or a subnet, you can say. A firewall is a single device or a form of a subnet, which consists of multiple firewalls, which creating a buffer between the outside world as well as the inside world here. So I'll discuss in later classes what are types of firewalls, what are different types of configurations we are using for the firewall. Okay. Next, DMZ. So what is DMZ? Is nothing but a demilitarized zone. Demilitarized zone, you can say. A buffer against outside attacks is referenced as a DMZ. A buffer against the outside attacks is referred as a DMZ here. So it is also acting as a firewall, you can say. External filter router. Okay. I may connect as a from the untrusted network to the trusted network here. So what is a trusted network? What is untrusted network? Outside world, what you are connecting from through the internet is nothing but untrusted network. I am connecting for the different IPs here. Trusted network is nothing but your internal organization. Okay. So in between that, I want to maintain some buffer here. Or I want to maintain some firewall like configurations or type of DMZs here. Demilitarized zone, a buffer against the outside attacks, is referred as a DMZ. So generally DMZ is a no man line between the inside and outside networks here, where some place called as a web servers here. You can call it as a web servers here. Web servers here. We can call it as a web service. Web service. These servers provide generally access to the organizational web pages. Access to the organizational web pages without allowing the web request to enter into the interior networks here. So DMZ is a demilitarized zone, is a buffer against the outside attacks, is referred as a DMZ. DMZ is a no man's land between the inside and outside networks, where some place web servers. You can call it as some sort of web servers here. These servers provide access to the organizational web pages without allowing a web request to enter into the internal networks here. Next, we have the proxy servers. So this proxy servers is an alternate approach to the strategies using a firewall subnet here, or DMZ. Alternate approach, you can say. Alternate approach performs action behalf of the another system. Alternate approach to strategies of using a firewall subnet or DMZ to use a proxy servers or a proxy firewalls. So generally, if you go for your organization, generally what you're doing, you cannot access the Google, you cannot access the YouTube, you cannot access the Facebook here. Okay, proxy servers perform some actions on behalf of another system. So I am not giving the access to the some web pages here directly. So when deployed this proxy server, a proxy server is configured to look like a web server here and assign a domain name here. We are assigning some domain name for the proxy servers. Next, coming to the intrusion detection systems, IDS. So you can see so many papers in IEEE or ACM. If you go for the security, if you go for the networking concepts papers, this IDS plays a major role here. This IDS plays a major role in the security. So firewalls, DMZ, proxy servers are the old concepts. But if you see the papers, latest papers, there are so many concepts like we are using the IDS, intrusion detection systems, so in a security of your paper, in a security concepts. So what is the intrusion detection system here? Intrusion detection system is in effect to detect unauthorized activity within the inner network or individual machines, or organization may wish to implement the IDS. When the organization may wish to implement the IDS, it will detect the unauthorized activities within the internal networks or individual machines. So there are two types of IDS. Just a minute. There are two types of IDS. Comes in two versions here, I can say. One is host-based IDS, that is host-based intrusion detection system, and network-based intrusion detection system. IDS is nothing but intrusion detection system. You can see two types of IDS here: host-based One is host based, IDS, intrusion detection system. Next one is the network based IDS. So what is a host base? What is a network base? What are different types? You can see in the next coming classes. Before that, I'll say what is a host based IDS, what is a network based IDS here first. Host based IDS usually installed on the machines. You can see the host based IDS. In this diagram, you can see here this host based IDS generally installed on the machines here, on the particular servers or particular systems, you can see in a trusted network. Okay. So host-based IDS are usually installed on the machines. They protect to monitor the status of various files which are stored on the particular machines. So there are two types of intrusion detection systems. One is host-based IDS. Next one is a network-based IDS here. So I can install this host-based, usually installed on the machines here to protect the monitor the status of various files which are stored in the machines here. Next, coming to the network based. Network based generally network based IDS. Look at the patterns of network traffic generally. Network based generally look at the patterns. You can see in the diagram again. Network intrusion detection system. Look the patterns of network traffic. What is the traffic flowing between the trusted network as well as the untrusted network to attempt to detect the unusual activity based on the previous baselines. So network-based IDS intrusion detection system is nothing but look the patterns of network traffic and attempt to detect unusual activity based on the previous baselines. This could include packets coming into the organization. This could include the packets coming into the organization's network with address from machines already within the organization. IP spoofing can call it as nothing but IP spoofing. So this could include the packets which are coming from the into an organization network with addresses from machines already within the organizations. So I can use the same IP address of your organization and I can enter into your organization. At that time, this IDS plays a major role in network intrusion detection system, which looks the patterns, what is the IP address you're using to enter into organization. It detects unusual activity based on your previous baselines here. You can check the which packet is gone from the internal network and which packet is coming from the external network here. That is nothing but between the trusted network as well as the untrusted network here. Is nothing but network-based IDS, network intrusion detection system. So we have very good configurations like firewall configurations, the firewall types, as well as the different types of IDS, which we are studying in the second part of the Trinity. Okay. So you can see this diagram, the combination of firewalls, proxy servers, and DM sets here. So it's the untrusted network, and it's all the internal network, you can see, trusted network. So I can place the various firewall configurations here. Different firewall configurations. We have different types of firewalls. I can use the different types of configuration firewalls, a proxy servers here, to protect your internal network here, your trusted network here. I can use a demilitarized zone. I can use the various firewall types. I can use the proxy servers. So I can use a different configuration of firewalls. Okay. I can use a IDS also for different host based on the host IDS. Okay, I can use the network based IDS to configure, to check the pattern of the traffic which is flowing between the untrusted network as well as the trusted network here. Next, security education, training, and awareness programs. So what is the security education, training, and awareness programs? So for whom we are giving this type of training or awareness programs in the organization? Generally, we are giving for the employees. It may be technical and non-technical. So as soon as the general security policy exists, which are coming from the upper management, the executive champions will create the policies, will generate the policies. So as soon as the general security policy exists, policies to implement the security education, training, and awareness programs. Nothing but SCTA, security education, training, and awareness program. 5 marks question, the 3 marks question sometimes. As soon as gender security policy exists in the organization, this policy should be implemented for security education, training, and awareness program. Should follow it. Simply called as a SITA, SCTA, security education, training, and awareness program. This is a control measure designed to reduce the accidental security breaches, security threats, you can say. Security education and training generally builds on the general knowledge that employees must possess to do some jobs. Job securely in the organization. So generally, setup program consists of security education, security training, and security awareness. Generally, security education training awareness program consists of security education, security training, and security awareness. So what is the security education? So every employee in the organization need to be trained and aware of this information security. So not every member needs a formal degree or certificate in information security, but you need to understand the policies, you need to understand the standards, you need to understand the laws in the organization, which should be followed by every employee in the organization. So there is no need to every member should have the formal degree, a certificate in the information security. So generally, when you complete your BTech, when you go for your any organization, you should follow the policies of your organization, which are executed by your upper management, your executive champions, vice president of your organization. If you don't follow the policies, again, what will happen? If you don't follow the policy and law, what type of laws can be applicable for the employees? So many organizations will prefer the certifications in some information security if you are administrator. If you're working in a networking administrations. But every employee should have the awareness of the security, information security concepts here and policies. These policies are trained and given the awareness to the every employee in the organization. Every organization employee should understand the policies here. Be aware of these policies and laws. If we don't follow these policies, different laws may be applicable depending on the behavior of the employee. It may be a civil law, it may be public law, it may be private law. When formal education for individuals in security is needed, employee can identify curriculum available from the local institutions of higher learning and continuing education. Number of universities have formal courses in information security. If you're working in a security administrations, you need some certifications. You can get from the different local institutions and higher education institutions here. These certifications. Yes. Security training. So what is the security training generally? Which involves providing the members of organization with detailed information and hands-on instructions designed to prepare them to perform their duties securely. So we're giving some awareness program to the organization people here, employees, hands-on experience, so that they can perform their duties very securely. So management of this information security can develop customized in-house training or outsourced training program. The management of your organization can conduct some customized in-house training here or outsource the training program to the other company people. They may conduct some awareness programs in-house or they can outsource from the different organization people to educate, to train the employees how to perform their duties securely. So alternative to the formal training includes some conferences. They may conduct some conferences, programs to offer to the professional organizations. Alternative to perform training includes some conferences, programs offered through the professional organizations. Next, security awareness. One of the least frequently implemented but most beneficial programs in the security awareness programming. So they may conduct some quiz type awareness programs. They may conduct some conferences type awareness programs. They may conduct some awareness program directly. Some reviews may be conducted to provide some most beneficial programs in the security awareness programs designed to keep the information security forefront to the user's minds. What happens when you are not following the rules and regulation, the policies are laws in the organization? The blueprint is designed by the upper management, the executives or vice president of information technology or information systems, and is forefront to the users of users' minds. Need not to be complicated or expensive. Yeah, if the program is not actively implemented, employees begin to tune out, and risk of employee accidents and failures increases. If you're not giving the awareness program to the employees, even you got the job after your BTech, you go for 6 months training. They train the awareness programs only. They train the security, information security concepts. They explain the policies. They explain the laws to be followed. If the program is not implemented actively, what happens? Employees begins to do some threats, and the risk of employee accidents, failures increases here. You don't have the awareness how to use the system. Which system should be used? In training program, in 6 months training, they will train everything regarding the policies of the organization, laws of the organization. They give some good awareness in the form of security as well as what a job role you have implemented here. So every organization should follow some policies. Follow some policies. These policies should be followed by the employees of the organization. That happens. So this is a 5 marks question. Security education training and awareness program, SITA. In that we can explain the security education, security training, security awareness. Yes. Next class, we'll discuss the different security technologies here. Firewall types, different firewall types here. Different ideas we'll discuss.